everybody, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and I've got a very quick process video for you today. Well, it's about 10 minutes, this whole video, so it's not super quick, but it would have been quicker if I hadn't screwed up the title, as you will see later. So basically, you'll be seeing in just a few short days another process video where I'm using some of the Simple Stories, Great Vintage Escape or something like that, mixed with Crepe Paper Magical Forest. I did a layout with some photos of my daughter at last year's Boo at the Zoo, and I had this extra photo. I didn't have space for it on the layout because I was using a sketch for the other layout, but I really did want to, make a layout about it because she's standing in front of this measuring thing to see how tall she is compared to a tiger when it's all stretched out and standing on its hind legs. And we love taking pictures like that, and not just because it's a fun photo op, but also because it's a nice sort of like keepsake so we can see how she's grown throughout the years. So I really still wanted to get this photo scrapbooked. So I basically used some of the leftover papers from the previous layout I'm doing these backwards, so this won't make sense to you, but the layout that you're going to see in a few days, which is part of the White with One Color Challenge reveal, I'm using the leftovers from that layout. And of course, I always never have enough paper, but I have tons of embellishments. Does that like happen to you guys? Is it just me, or I have so many embellishments left over, but like the paper I didn't buy enough of? But that's okay, because what I'm doing here is very simple and very basic, and you can do this for pretty much any single photo layout. If you don't really know where to start this way. The pattern paper in the back is 12 by 12, and then I cut down the brown polka dot paper to, let's see, I think I cut off like an inch on each side. So that's probably like an 11 by 11 or 10 and a half by 10 and a half. It's still a square, and I just put it right down on top. I'm going to back my photo, which I cut down to 3.5 by 5. Remember those old photo sizes? So yes, I did cut it down 3.5 by 5, and then I'm just backing it with a different color of pattern paper because some of the embellishments, as you saw, I already picked out the embellishments I wanted to use. I had an idea of where I was going to put them, but I did want the photo to be backed, and I am using a yellow pattern paper from Vicki Boutin. It's part of the Storyteller collection, and I liked the yellow just because some of the embellishments that I was going to use had some yellow in it, so I wanted to make sure that was represented in the pattern paper as well. So, easy peasy so far, right? Then basically for the embellishments, I'm just making clusters, starting with clusters of 3 because that's where I always start, and then you can add out from there if you would like to. So here I've got like a little rectangle. It's like a card. It's supposed to be like a playing card sort of thing. It's from the Magical Forest collection, and it has a fox on it with the letter F. And then that sticker is also from the Magical Forest collection, and it says "Stay Little Forever," which I just thought was perfect because we're measuring her and she's little, and anyway. And then there's a flare button on top of that. That's my little cluster of 3 in the left-hand bottom corner. I think that flare button actually has a fox on it, and it is from Scrap Accent, which is a Canadian embellishment company. So now, to keep things on the diagonal, so tip number 1, embellishments always in a cluster of 3. Tip number 2, work on the diagonal. You've probably seen me do that a lot in process videos, especially recently. I seem to always be going on the diagonal. So now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in that top right-hand corner. Originally, I had chosen that cut-apart square, or it wasn't a cut-apart. It was part of the Magical Forest die-cut collection, and it says "Grow Like a Wildflower," which is such a juxtaposition from "Stay Little Forever," but still, we're talking about size and her growing and getting bigger, and I just thought that would fit really well with this. So I was kind of second guessing myself on some of the embellishments that I chose. I really liked that other fox die cut piece, but I just wasn't liking how it was 2 square things together up at the top. It just wasn't doing it for me. And I really wanted to use that ribbon, the yellow ribbon, which is also from the Magical Forest collection, because I really liked the way it gave some dimension. So I basically got rid of the fox. And yeah, I know, I don't know what I'm doing taking, like, was the foam backing, was it supposed to be part of it? I don't know. I ripped it off because I couldn't get it off the plastic. Anyway, so the cluster that I'm working on now, you'll see it does have actually 4 things. But the little sticker, which the little banner sticker is from Heidi Swapp, and it says, "Here comes the sun." I kind of feel like that's still part of this, the Grow Like a Wildflower die cut, because it's on top of it. Or you could say that the cluster of 3 is actually the ribbon, the die cut, and the sticker. And then that puffy heart that I added was part of me starting to build things out. Again, moving on the diagonal, and you'll see this in a second. I'm trying to make the title Wild Child using some American Craft sticker, alpha thickers. But I'm making this layout while my daughter is in the room with me, and she's talking to me, and she's playing with some toys. And of course, I spelled child right, but I started to spell wild wrong. And you can't get that sticky stuff off of the page. It was tearing the pattern paper. I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Especially because, like, I'm filming this for a process video. So I thought maybe I could cover it up with like another embellishment or something. And what I ultimately did, the D actually came up just fine. It was just the I that I couldn't get up. So I'm trying to like use an eraser to peel it off, but it wasn't working. So what I did was I got the D up and I just moved the D over. So there's still a little bit of a torn pattern paper right at the very top of the D, but I don't think it's that noticeable. It's fine. And then I am gluing down the I because the backing did peel off, so it wasn't sticky anymore. I don't have any adhesive for my Xyron sticker maker. I would have run it through there. But yeah, so there's my title, Wild Child. That was an experience. But hey, mistakes, there are no mistakes in scrapbooking, even though I'm still trying to cover that little piece up, but I do eventually give up because I like the way that puffy star sticker looks over there. And then here is where I begin building out the rest of, what am I trying to say? The rest of the embellishments. So I added a little Heidi Swapp tiger sticker over there. It's transparent, so you really have to use it on stuff that's lighter. But I just kind of liked that the photo had a tiger in it, the sticker was a tiger. And now I'm going to add a few more stickers and accents to the top corner there. I had a little like wood grain banner, which I love a good wood grain. This is the Pink Paislee 5th and Monaco collection. These are the stickers. So there's a bird down at the bottom, which actually kind of fit. The color scheme really fit well with that. There's a butterfly up at the top. Just trying to like add just a few more bits and pieces to kind of drag that diagonal out along the line. I added a little golden sticker that said record this. I actually don't do any journaling on this layout, mainly because the other page that I did does have some journaling on it. At least I think it does. But I figured these will probably be side by side. These will probably be a 2-page spread. Even though it's not a 2-page layout, it'll be they'll be together. So it'll be easy for me to say, oh, that's from the Boo at the Zoo. There they go together. So here, because I had such a big space between Wild and Child, I added a big enamel dot in the middle there. And then I'm just going to add a couple other enamel dots, mixing Pinkfresh Days of Splendor and Simple Stories I Am, because I really like the colors, sort of like a brownish in the Days of Splendor, and then more of like a jungle green, I think, in the Simple Stories I Am. So one of the things, like I love just doing like finding the corners when I'm using enamel dots, finding the corners of things and kind of putting a dot there just to kind of fill in some of that white space. And then here I decided I was going to do a row of 3. Again, rule of threes, but a row of 3 enamel dots kind of mirroring each other on either side of the photo, just to kind of build out more of the enamel dots and just add some extra color and dimension. And that's pretty much going to be it. So I'm going to have close-ups following. I hope this was inspirational and a little bit more of like a step-by-step than maybe I usually do with the instructions that I'm giving. So hopefully this was helpful. Give this video a thumbs up, like, and click subscribe so you never miss out on another process video. And I will see you guys next time. Happy scrapping!